Hello there. This is a possibly a bit of a course question, possibly me correcting an error from my Wolf 359 to Sector 001 battle comparison episode. And that was that I mentioned there was no Galaxy class ships at the Battle of Wolf 359. However, I might actually not have been wrong, and I'm not entirely sure. Now, it came to my attention when someone commented about Admiral Hanson's ship being a Galaxy class that had attached its saucer section. Now, there's a fan film out there that I know is currently being made that's sort of doing the Battle of Wolf 359. It's excellent, actually, and they show Admiral Hanson commanding the fleet from the drive section on the battle bridge of a Galaxy class starship. The only problem I have is, although there is an entry on Memory Alpha that states this, it's from the original script. If you go back to the script to the Battle of Both Worlds, it mentions in the script that he was commanding a Galaxy class ship. This isn't explicitly stated on screen, so it really boils down to whether or not you take stuff as a production note or as a deleted moment from a script as being still canonical. So basically, as a production note in the script, it states in the original dialogue that it was going to be a Galaxy class starship, but it's not in the finished product, which, as I tend to stick to canon, and what I consider to be alpha canon is anything we explicitly see. So I started comparing stills from the episode where you see Admiral Hanson talking to Riker. Now, some of these are from what appears to be a ready room or something of that nature, but it's probably the ready room of a Galaxy class, maybe, but let's face it, a ready room is a ready room. Anyone can customize them, make them different. Also, I'm more focused in on the battle bridge because I figure the ready room of different ships is generally kind of similar. It's just usually just a desk and a chair. So I started trying to see what I could see in the background of Admiral Hanson when he's in his communications. Now, the screen is deliberately distorted to show that the ship is in a battle and the Borg are jamming communications and the ship is suffering damage. But nonetheless, I look at the background behind him. Let's assume that he's facing the forward part of the bridge, but even if you don't and you look around the bridge, it still doesn't seem to quite fit. If he's facing the view screen of the battle bridge, what should be behind him doesn't match what we actually see. What we see behind him are a series of panels and display screens. We don't actually see what is on the battle bridge of a Galaxy class starship behind. Now, we know that bridges can vary to be mission specific, but a battle bridge doesn't seem to be a component of a starship you would normally sort of plug and play and remove. They're probably standard fit. Certainly the main bridge could be changed, but I don't think the battle bridge would be. It doesn't appear to be the battle bridge to me of a Galaxy class starship. However, I am fully prepared to admit that I am wrong on this and that he was actually commanding a Galaxy class ship, because to be honest, that would make a hell of a lot of sense. That if you're going to engage the Borg, you're going to want to do it from a ship that can command the battle. He's also going to be one of the best tactical ships you've got at your disposal. I mean, personally, I'd have had 10 or 20 Galaxy class ships at that battle if they were available, if I was going to choose. But, I mean, I still have questions. Just little questions. I know that he's meant to have detached the saucer section to remove the civilians, but ships like the Saratoga, they didn't disembark their civilians. Now, of course, the Saratoga is not a Galaxy class and can't detach its saucer section, but why would they even bring the civilians to the battle? There's many things about the Battle of Wolf 359 that are very questionable in the decision-making of Starfleet, which is hence why I made the episode in the first place. However, when I look at the specifics of Admiral Hanson's command ship, although I would like to believe it is a Galaxy class, I'd like to actually sit here and say, yeah, I'm completely wrong. It seems to have been a Galaxy class from what I can see. It actually doesn't appear to be a Galaxy class ship that he's on. Out of universe, I think that they've probably reused some sets when they've had him talking, and they probably had him in Picard's ready room, things like that, but they've redressed it slightly to make it seem different. The problem with doing that is because it's a customizable space, it could be any ship. And it's the bridge that I focused in on, because the bridge seems to be the least interchangeable, should I say. and it doesn't appear to be a battle bridge from a Galaxy class starship. But it does make a ton of sense that it would be a Galaxy class ship. That makes sense. The fact that it's, to my eyes, doesn't appear to be, just confirms that I think Starfleet rushed this battle. I don't think there was a Galaxy class ship available. After all, they were usually out on the fringes of space. It's just the Enterprise happened to be involved in this one. And it also kind of makes sense there might not have been Galaxy class ships in range, considering the battle for Wolf 359. The fleet was hastily assembled from any ships that were in the area, hence the hodgepodge of vessels present. But let me know if you completely disagree. What do you guys think? Was it a Galaxy class ship? Because I don't want to be factually incorrect in my video. I'd like to be accurate. The reason I left out that I thought it was a Galaxy class ship is because I couldn't find any concrete, other than Memory Alpha and script details, I couldn't find anything that explicitly stated it was a Galaxy class ship. But nothing else seems to state it. It's not stated in dialogue. It's not even stated on Memory Alpha, actually, when it goes through the ship breakdown. It's one of the other miscellaneous classes of ship. It's an unknown. Being unknown leaves it very ambiguous. It makes sense for it to be Galaxy class, but it would also have made sense for there to be more Galaxy class. It also makes little sense for him to detach the saucer section. If you're going to disembark the crew, the civilians, it made more sense to just simply beam them off to some planet somewhere, leave them a few shuttles and some supplies, or disembark them even to a less important ship and keep the saucer section so you've got the extra power and the extra weapons that the saucer section affords you. Not to mention the flexibility. It could have presented an extra ship just like Riker used it as. But again, let me know what you guys think. Was he commanding a Galaxy class ship? Am I completely off there? Because to be honest, I think my argument could go either way, and I'm quite happy with it going to either side. It being a Galaxy class ship or it not being. I don't want to be factually incorrect, which is why I generally left it out and didn't actually mention it at all, because it just didn't make sense. But I did say that there were no Galaxy class ships there, which is the error I probably am needing to correct, if indeed he was commanding Galaxy class ship. But I leave it up to you, based on, do we take script details that were not actually in the finished version as canon, or do we take Memory Alpha, which, bear in mind, Memory Alpha is it's fan done, it's wiki, and there is occasionally information on there that's a little twitchy for its factuality. So what do we take as canon? Was it or wasn't it? Let me know in the comments below.